The platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club and Thursday Night Motorsport this Anzac Weekend 2026. And we start with a triple treat from the Oulton Park circuit in England and then head to California, to the west coast of the United States for a double dose of Porsche Cup racing there for you as well. Yep, it's an out-and-out sprint night, our favourite open-wheel tin-top doubleheader, ready to fire for you, live, exclusive and free across Facebook and YouTube, and another dose of Porsche racing for yours truly on the back of the Pro Invitational second round last night. It is night 4 of week 2 of term 2, 2026, season 25 for the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. Nice to have you along wherever you're tuning in, all around Australia or indeed the world, and hope you can stay with us for the course of the next 3 hours or so. Zach Caban and Matt Schmidtke with you for the main course, and then Andrew Neal's going to slide on in for dessert and bring you the Porsche racing from Long Beach in California. And of course, with 2 splits this season, normally when we have a sprint round in the Porsches in years gone by, it'd just be holeless bowlers, stock and barrel, loaded into one serve and away you go. But no, separate open and elite splits tonight. So there will be an intermission, firstly, between the Formula Vs and the Porsches, so that we can do the driver swap from the director and producer booth. And then, of course, a swap for the open split to the elite split transition at the end of race 1 of the Porsches. There is Oulton Park. We're on the full circuit, which is surprising for mine, but it should throw up some very good Formula V racing. Normally we do stick to the Foster's configuration, but no, we're on the full course. Good overtaking opportunities around here. Let's be honest, that doesn't apply to all categories, but it certainly does to Formula V. It's the full course, it's the chicanes, it's everything. And we're looking forward to seeing what might unfold here. 11 o'clock local server time, which would be 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time if, of course, the universe aligned beautifully, but it doesn't on this particular occasion. We are May 15, 2026, so we're actually 3 weeks into the future for some reason. And we're sitting on 31 degrees track temperature, 20 degrees ambient at this point in time. We will, of course, have a look at the championship standings before these drivers line up on the grid for race 1. 10 minutes for race 1, 15 for heats 2 and 3. Invert top 10 for heat 2, invert top 15 for heat 3. Last week in Disruptive Labs Formula V, it was Braden Sagassa on top, prevailing with 139 points to his name, 138 for Sam Chapman and 135 for Lachlan Purvis. That's how tight it was on points for the round. Chapo only just missing out. And Ryan Jones, 133 points, 129 for Adam Lavis and Chris Noble make up the top 6. There were 18 on the grid there last week. There are 22 in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They're lining up on the grid now for race 1. Braden Sagassa. Again, we had 3 different winners in 3 races last week, which was good to see. Lockie Purvis, Braden Sagassa, and also Ryan Jones. And they are the usual protagonists at the front of this field. Sagassa and Moroney the front row, Chapman and Purvis the second row, Chris Noble and Mark Heppel the third row, then Derek Fitzgerald, Ryan Jones, Sean Dorey, and Adam Lavis the top 10. Row 6 is where you're going to find Richard King alongside Ryan Tate, Jonathan Harris and Brett Bradbury from 7, Will Ramsden and Russell Gander from 8, Brendan Nealon and Greg Padgett from 9, Eduardo Zamora and Michael Adams from 10, Todd Saris and Thorn Leggett from 11. Rightio, let's have a look at the state of play here. We're getting ready for Heat 1 with bugger all on the grid. Have a look at that. So many cars still yet to join festivities out here, front and centre on the main straight. Just going through that final systems check in pit lane before they make their way back to the grid. Sagassa's even disappeared again a second time. Here comes Moroney back, and with him Purvis. Still waiting for Sagassa, Chapman, Heppel, Lavis. They're all loading in now to saddle up and slide into position, and we'll get this show underway. Evening, Matt Schmidtke.
Good evening, Zach. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. I'm warming up the vocal cords, loosening them up, getting them ready to rock and roll. Round the grounds tonight, we will have updates from Thursday night, NRL and AFL for you. Of course, it is the Swans up against the Dogs in the AFL. That one just about to get underway, and the NRL at the top of the hour. In the meantime, let's get ready to fire. Formula V from Oulton Park, races 4, 5 and 6. of a 30-race championship season. We've got 3 lights, 4 and 5. Lights out, away we go. Great start, Braden Sagasa. Moroney went with him. We've got a couple of cars running into trouble further back in the pack. Looks like one front end has parted company with one of the cars deep in the pack. So Will Ramsden's had a shocker of a start. And Todd Saris has gained 6 positions in all of that. So there's been some garbage unfold at the very back of the field. But majority of the 22 runners getting away clean and smartly. And here is Moroney already getting past Braden Sagasa. Good to see Moroney back on the grid. Missed out last week. And already the top 5 have bolted. Noble and Purvis and Fitzgerald have latched on. Thank you for the positive feedback there. Stay with us. I'll try not to let you down tonight. Moroney, Sagasa, Chapman, Purvis and Noble, the top 5 here as we go to the first of the chicanes around the back of the circuit. Whoa, a little bit of grass being kicked up. Greg Padgett showing off the road at the moment. Great to see Greg Padgett lining up on the grid. It has been a while. That's not how we would like to be able to introduce him onto the screen, ladies and gentlemen, but it is nice to have him back in the server. He's gone through his own share of health battles over the last couple of years, so great to have him back on the V grid. Let's hope the night can only improve from that early skirmish. You'd hope so for his sake anyway. Now, I'm going to be interested to hear, Schmitty, but it's a long lap around this course in a Formula V, so at this stage, we're hovering around 5. Maybe if we're lucky, we scrape a 6th lap in, but at the moment, it's looking like we're going to be very close to calling this a 5-lap race. Here comes Sam Chapman down the inside. Chapman makes a move, gets by Moroney and Sagasa, 2 for the price of 1. Chapman leads at Oulton Park. Didn't grab a win last week, would love to change the narrative this week. Richard King, Jonathan Harris, Brett Bradbury, gone. Ryan Tate as well. Carnage at the final corner. They all drive away from the scene of the crime. But it's a long road back from there for them. At least you do get a 2nd and 3rd bite at the cherry, Matt Schmidtke. That's the good thing about Formula V.
Around in the back.
Noble's gone, and so too is Ryan Jones. Jonesy, of course, the pink car on screen there. Derek Fitzgerald also involved. Can you believe this? Noble, Tate, Gander, all caught up. And this is the problem. So we've got 4 of them battling at the front. That's great. That's fantastic. I love that. What I don't necessarily love for these guys is how narrow this racetrack is. Noble got help. Noble got help, I think, from Fitzgerald.
I think
if we can have another
right.
look at that.
Yeah.
Ryan Jones has got a mechanical meatball. So too Chris Noble. That rubs them out of contention. Yep, nailed it. Oh. And Heppel was also involved inadvertently as well. I reckon that was him that gave Fitzgerald the initial clip. And Sean Dorey now showing off the road as well. Dorey limping back on in 7th at the back there. Actually make it 8th, 9th. He's gone. He's gone. Dorey's out of it. Wowee. The casualty ward. We haven't got enough beds for them at the moment. What's going on here? It's only race 1. But this can be make or break as far as your night is concerned. Yes, you can salvage something in races 2 and 3, but gone are your hopes of round honours. Luke Allavoine, good evening to you. Look forward to seeing you on the grid in the Porsches in a few moments' time, of course. On the back of the success in Mexico City last week. You guys moving to Long Beach, down the inside. Chapman around the outside of Sagasa. Here comes Moroney and Purvis as well. It's a race in 4 at the front. They've gapped Heppel and Lavis. King, Fitzgerald, Jones, Bradbury. Jones, he's got to come to pit lane and clear that mechanical meatball at some point. It is lap 3 of 5. Confirmed now with a 2-minute standing lap time that 2nd time through. It will be a 5-lapper. No change. It says 6 on your leaderboard there, but the maths just doesn't add up. Not for the first time this series, by the way. Thoughts on all that so far, Matt Schmidtke? It's safer in here, isn't it?
Yeah, Just a bit. It's been a bit chaotic, but there's some good racing as well. Good, some battle packs developing.
Try and make sense of all of that in a moment as we go on here. But my goodness. Great start, Braden Sagassa. He's gapped Sam Chapman half a second to the good. Maroney and Purvis. You just saw Heppel come through with Lavis, King, Fitzgerald, Jones and Harris. Now, Harris currently sits in the invert position. Make a note of that. Harris currently sits in the invert position. But he'll move up because Jonesy's coming to pit lane. Bradbury is there with the fastest lap of the race, 159.866. Dory and Ramsden remain on the tow rope on pit lane. Padgett and Noble have already visited pit lane as well. What a shocker of a start of the season for Chris Noble. My goodness. Harris now gets by Jones. Authentically on track. And Jonesy's a sitting duck at the moment. Back to the front. Maroney's got by Chapman. 2 to go at Oulton Park in race 1. So there are your race distances, ladies and gentlemen. 5, 8 and 8. A little bit of overtime attached to races 2 and 3. We're not complaining. Plenty of time for some of these guys to work their way back through the field. But as I said, it's made a ride for their own back for the balance of the night. And the other underwriting factor with all of that, Schmitty. Uh-oh. Off goes Maroney. Off goes Maroney, and in behind them, more trouble.
Purvis.
That's Lockie Purvis. Lockie Purvis is gone. Fitzgerald goes past him. Purvis drops to 7th. Harris now up to 8th. Bradbury to 9th. Eduardo Zamora holds the invert position at the moment. I want to go through the widespread of nations being represented on this grid in a few moments' time, because there's a real strong international presence and flavour about it, which we like to see here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We are predominantly Australian, New Zealand based, but ever so gradually we're expanding our presence right around the sim racing universe, which is magnificent. Maroney. King gets by. Richard King to the inside. Mark Heppel in behind him. So a three-way fight for third as Sagassa and Chapman go at it at the front. Chapman looking to be the 4th different race winner of the season. Missed out last week. He and Chris Noble, 2 of the stalwarts of this caper, missed out last week. Noble still yet to catch a break here. But the other thing too, you look at where Ryan Jones is 17th, you look at Chris Noble 18th. So obviously the invert means the top 5 rows in the second heat are squabbling amongst themselves, and the top 7 rows in heat 3. But this is one of those circuits, Schmitty, where the further back you are in the field, the greater the risk is. It's tight, it's narrow, it's tricky, and as we've already seen, it's very easy to bang wheels here, and all of a sudden you're on the back foot.
Yeah. Even though these are small cars, this is a very skinny track compared to a lot, so even these have a bit of trouble going. Oh, someone's around in the back there.
Heppel. Yep, Mark Heppel. Gone. In the wall at 1. Yeah, skinny all right. Reminds me of your local bloody cul-de-sac. Trying to squeeze through between 2 parked cars along the street. There's just no room to move. No, you'd get claustrophobic. There's Mark Heppel, bang, into the wall. She's done. That's not going any further, I would imagine. He's further off the track again. Limping at home on the grass. Heppel's race has been run. Bradbury in 8th. Apologies if you're getting a little bit of wind feedback off my microphone, ladies and gentlemen. I got the new fan the other day for the commentary position. I've got it on the lowest setting possible, as making more noise and doing more work, working more powerfully on the lowest setting than the other one did on the highest. So it's an improvement, but it doesn't make it easy from a commentary standpoint, let me tell you. Last lap. Half a minute to go. Braden Sagassa leads Sam Chapman. Maroney, King, Fitzgerald and Purvis. Here we go. Back to the leaders. Can Chapman find a way by? Can he make a late lunge? Can Sagassa withstand the pressure? 2 corners to go.
The bar at the top isn't white, which it usually goes if it's the last lap, I think. We might get it now.
No, because it was set at 6 laps, it won't go white. That's the... I did see Barney waving the white flag, but because it was set to 6 laps, you won't see it on the screen on the top side there, as you do see the second flag now. It's out and waving. Photo finish. Sagasa got it. 0.06 of a second. 0.06 of a second. Sagasa over Chapman. Sagasa, the first double-up winner of the season. Just like he did in Mexico City, he wins the opening race at Oulton Park. Brilliant. Chapman second, Maroney, his first start, his first podium, Richard King, Derek Fitzgerald, Lockie Purvis, Jonathan Harris, then Adam Lavers, Brett Bradbury, and the boy from Chile. Have a look at Eduardo Zamora. He's going to take the invert pole position. Magnificent. Some incidents from that race.
Let's see if we can get a look at that finish. See how close they were.
Oh, I think the clock's going to get the better of you, mate.
Yeah, it started quite a ways back. Let's see. Oh, yeah, just.
By about 2 seconds. I knew that was going to happen. We never have luck in that regard. Reverse grid, invert top 10 for this second heat, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where the real fireworks start. Everybody, of course, had mixed views on Mexico City last week. Such was the tight and technical nature of that racetrack. They know Oulton Park well, and now it's all up to racecraft and a bit of good fortune as to how you fare in this second race. And there's already a real jumbled feel about this order because of the protagonists that are going to be coming from outside the top 10 already that you'd normally associate with inside the top 10. Zamora Bradbury, the front row. Great result for Brett Bradbury. Adam Lavis, Jonathan Harris, second row. Watch Adam Lavis if he can get to the front. Lachlan Purvis, Derek Fitzgerald, Richard King, Nathan Maroney, and Sam Chapman and Braden Sagasta the top 10. Then Thorne Weggett and Michael Adams, Ryan Tate, Russell Gander. Then Todd Saris and Ryan Jones. Chris Noble. Oh, what a wretched start of the season for him already. Brendan Nealon, great to see him back on the grid. Mark Heppel, Greg Paget, Sean Dorey and Will Ramsden. Let's go, go, go. Perfect start, Brett Bradbury. Good job, Adam Lavis as well. Zamora got swamped and loses 2 positions. Cleanly through. Here comes Lockie Purvis on the inside of Jonathan Harris. He's pushing Harris along. The run down to turn 3. Purvis doesn't want to yield just yet. He'll get to the inside and go forth. Zamora's gone. Big one. Purvis gone as well. And they're spearing everywhere across the course at Oulton Park. Forward further back as they try and clear the mess. Oh boy, it's happened again. Harris, Zamora, Purvis all caught up, losing 14, 16 and 21 positions respectively. From 0 to 0 for Eduardo Zamora. Ravis leads at Oulton Park. I said to keep an eye on him if he got to the front. Brett Bradbury, the sitting duck because he's got Fitzgerald, Chapman, Tate, King, Noble, Sagasa, Adams, Waggett. There goes Richard King. He had all those drivers latching onto the rear, applying the pressure. Did Derek Fitzgerald, and Richard King got caught up and checked up in all of that. Bradbury is a second to the good on Fitzgerald. That's an inch is as good as a mile around here. And he's 2/3 of a second off Adam Lavis. They just speared everywhere, didn't they? They were actually lucky that it wasn't worse than that. Only 4 cars really caught up, and only 3 of them involved in that major part of the incident. Sagasa leads. Brilliant from him. Reverse grid, 8 laps. Let's go. Lockie Purvis has lost 12 spots. Jonathan Harris 14. Richard King 13. Eduardo Zamora 20 on the opening lap. And again, it's a long way back. Not just if you incur damage or have to make an unscheduled pit stop, Matt Schmidtke, but Ryan Tate and Braden Sagasa kicking 2 wheels up off the dirt through turn 1. But it's also, they're all doing it now. They're all abusing the limits of adhesion, track limits there. There is a slowdown being applied to Brendan Nealon and Lockie Purvis at the moment. What's interesting for mine in all of that, Schmitty, Eduardo Zamora off track again. No one had to come in and stop that time through, so that's good news. But I mean, we talk about being compromised by damage or having to make an unexpected, unscheduled pit stop. There is no scheduled pit stop requirement in Formula V racing. But a simple spin can put you well back in this order and leave you trying to scramble or salvage something out of the race. We've already seen it. And now the narrative will follow. Oh, Thornweggett's gone. The narrative is going to be part following what goes on at the front, and if Adam Lavis can hold on to his lead, Brett Bradbury's giving him good chase, and Sam Chapman's got at the front of the second queue. But it's also going to be following the comeback recovery of Harris, Purvis, Zamora and King, if they can salvage anything from where they are at the moment. At the moment, Harris and Purvis are arguing over the invert pole for race 3, which is 15th.
Yeah, there's a good little pack back here. They're just a long way from the front currently.
Indeed. Oh boy, how good's this? So 4 minutes gone. Off goes Ryan Tate. Sagasa gets through, capitalises on all of that. Heppel and Dory, 11th and 12th at the moment. Oh boy. Oh, look at them all, three of them with wheels in the dirt, in the grass. My goodness. Do we have accessibility to what the service settings stipulate with regards to incident points and off tracks, Matt Schmidtke? Just as a point of interest?
I should be able to find that out for us.
Because if they keep lighting up the off-track alerts, I should say, it's going to be very interesting to see who's flirting with the limits there at the end of the race. I mean, some of them have already given up on a clean race aspiration, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Here's Michael Adams in 9th.
Well, I'm just looking at it. It's only 14 incidents before your first drive-through. So that'll be interesting.
Oh, wow. So if you see anyone making an unscheduled pit stop at the back end of the piece here, ladies and gentlemen, you will know why. Down the inside, that's Brayden Sagasa getting by. Yep, nicely. On Ryan Tate, Chris Noble has got his way through to 4th. Up 13 positions already. How good's this? Davis, Bradbury, Chapman, Noble, Sagasa, Tate, Maroney, Fitzgerald, Adams and Jones, the top 10. Heppel is 11th, Dory is 12th. Ramsden, Gander, Purvis, Harris, then Saris and Neal on the top 18. And Lavis leads still, but Chapman is now next in line. So these two have a habit of finding one another on a Formula V racetrack. It's happened again. I've lost track of the amount of times they've been in one another's company on a Formula V track when you and I have been sharing the booth together, Matt Schmidtke. I don't know what's going on here. Nathan Maroney and Ryan Tate have swapped around as well. Maroney through into P6. Whoa. Did well to pull it up. Chapman, Lavis, Bradbury, Noble, Sagasa. Jones has got through on Maroney now. Jones up to 6th. Good recovery from Jonesy. Hoping for a much better result than what we saw in, well, not only race 1, but also, of course, earlier in the week. He got caught up in that incident in the Formula 3 race at the Algarve. I'm hoping, actually, that's the reason why I'm just looking at I never look at my Discord inbox, Schmitty. I'm very bad at that. I've said that publicly before. I need to actually set some time aside to go and answer some questions there because I can see that Maddo's touch base, Scotty Jordison's touch base, etc., right? I'm very bad at it. Better hope of getting me via Messenger, folks, truthfully, because I don't have Discord on my phone. A lot of the club members do. I don't. There's a reason for that. I like to switch off once the broadcast finishes. But That might actually be the reason why Jonesy slid into the DEMs of the Discord inbox there. I'll have to have a look at that a little bit later on. Going around the grounds for the first time tonight, there's Moroney down the inside, getting Jones back into sixth now. Western Bulldogs 3-1-19 lead the Sydney Swans 1-2-8, although the Swans are on the attack again. The NRL just going through their pre-match commemorative Anzac ceremony before the match in Campbelltown gets underway between the Tigers and the Raiders, and the Swans have just put another one on the board. So it's now a 5-point game, Bulldogs over Swans. Back here at half race distance, Chapman, Lavis, Bradbury, Noble, Sagassa, Moroney, Jones. The top 7. Adams, Tate, Fitzgerald make up the top 10. Currently the invert pole being held by Jonathan Harris, who is 15th, just ahead of Will Ramsden. And you know what the most pleasing thing in all of this is, Matt?
What's that?
22 start, 22 still running. It's not often we say that this late into a Formula V race.
Yeah, that is quite a good... Oh, it's everyone, so that is excellent.
That is a magnificent return. We did have 2 drivers not make it to the end of race 1, but they didn't throw the towel in. They didn't throw the white flag and surrender and jump off into the Porsche server. They stayed right here. They stayed put, and they've lined up again for race 2. Because again, with so many more points on offer this term compared to last term, and points paying all the way through the field, there is still the chance of salvaging something. And who's to say that the likes of Chapman and Lavis, Braden Sagassa even, they could run into their own trouble later in the season. It's that sort of category. It's a lottery draw. It's a bingo game, essentially. If those guys run into trouble later in the season, maybe these guys that have run into trouble tonight jag something back. Right, that's where the bonus points come in so vital. That's where the fastest laps and the pole positions and the most positions gained, and also the drop rounds, all play their part.
Yep. And 0x, that's a big one. Extra point compared to every other season previously. It's now 4 points for a sprint round.
It's exciting, isn't it? Just noting some Discord chatter here as well, mate, with regards to later tonight and the Porsche server. Yes, there is a compulsory pit stop, you blokes, in Heat 2. So out-and-out sprint racing for Heat 1, but in that 27-minute race that is Heat 2, the invert top 10, there is a splash and dash requirement. Jonesy giving Moroney the hurry up now. Adams is there with them as well. Fitzgerald and Tate 2. Down the inside, Adams, no. Not yet anyway. Adams, Jones, whoa, 2 wheels in the dirt. Got across to cover off Jones. Adams, I should say, did Jones. Did well. Moroney off the road, getting to Purvis off the road. Lockie's off the road. He gathers it up, but he's down in 16th. It's going to be 17th. Saris goes around his outside. Costly for Purvis, because now he's on the wrong side of the invert. And all on his own. Oh dear. Bang. It's just gone from bad to worse for the guy that was sitting 3rd in the championship after winning Heat 3 last week in Mexico. 2 podiums last week. Both Braden Sagassa and Lockie Purvis achieved that. Chapo with 1, but Chapo had a better average finishing rate than the other 2, really. 6th, 2nd and 4th compared to 1st, 3rd and 11th for Braden and 3rd, 11th and 1st for Lockie Purvis. So only 4 points of difference there, and it went the way of Purvis with regards to the bonuses that he acquired along the way. Even Jonesy, an 8th, a 1st and a 5th, on par with Chapo there with regards to all of that. Adam Lavis 4th, 15th and 2nd. Chris Noble 2nd, 5th and 10th. So a mixed bag for so many last week, which is why it's so evenly stacked at the top of the field at the moment. I've managed to rattle the cage of a few motorsport people today. Willie Ramsden. Will Ramsden. First drive through of the night.
I think so.
There he is. The black flag for incident points has been issued. Derek Fitzgerald around the outside of Michael Adams. That'll do. Fitzgerald off into 8th. Jones is 7th. Maroney is 6th. We're on lap 7. White flag flies next time by the line. Swans are taking the lead at Etihad, 21-20. 3-3 place, 3-2 over the Western Bulldogs. Early days at Marvel Stadium. Sorry, I said Etihad. I'm just having flashbacks to the early 2000s or the 2010s or whenever it was. It's had so many bloody different names. The stadium with the roof over its head is what I'm getting at, ladies and gentlemen. A minute and a half to go, a lap and a quarter to go. We will go into overtime. Mechanical meatball for Lockie Purvis as well. So that rubs Ramsden and Purvis out of this one. However, when did Lockie receive that mechanical? Because there's usually a bit of leeway with regards to the mechanical meatball, and if you're close enough to home and you can limp at home, nurse at home, he may be best pressed to stay out on the racetrack here and hang tight with that mechanical in the hope that he can also hold Todd Saris at bay. White flag flies. There's Barney. At least he's on deck tonight. In the hope that Ramsden goes to pit lane to clear his black flag, which he doesn't. Okay, so that's going to be a problem for Ramsden after the fact.
Yeah,
let's be perfectly honest.
He will get the origin penalty, so I believe Purvis will jump up that position still.
So Purvis will, at this point, go to 15th and get the invert pole. So it's in his best interest to stay out there unless he's ignored that flag for too long and also gets slugged with a penalty. Now, Jones and Maroney side by side. With Miss Chapman going to the lead at the front. It's hard to take your eyes off this, though, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at it. Maroney, Jones, Adams and Fitzgerald, they're arguing over 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. And there goes Ryan Tate onto their tail as well for 10th. Further back, Heppel and Dory. The race in 4 at the front. Nobles come from out of the clouds to be within a second of Lavis and Chapman. And Sagassa's there as well. Lavis on track for his second podium finish of the season. His second of the season. Chapo on track for his first win of the campaign. Can Sagassa find a way by Noble? Or is he going to have to concede defeat and consolidate 4th? Here we go. Final few corners. Final few moments. Last opportunity for Adam Lavis to have a crack on Sam Chapman. Here he goes to the inside. Adam Lavis on Chapman. Chapman around the outside. Whoever gets the better run off the final corner. Side by side. Photo finish. Chapman has done it again. Sam Chapman gets his first win of Disruptive Club's Formula V in Term 2 of 2026 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Nicely done. Noble Horo Sagassa for 3rd. Brett Bradbury's going to come through ahead of Nathan Maroney and Ryan Jones. Derek Fitzgerald, Michael Adams, Ryan Tate, then Sean Dory, and Mark Heppel makes up the top 12. Oh boy. How was the super slow-mo there from Matty Schnittke as well? In real time. Jonathan Harris, Russell Gander, Will Ramsden, we suspect, is getting a penalty. There's an asterisk next to Lockie Purvis until those results come through as well. But Ramsden will get shuffled. He'll get bumped from 15th. Everybody finishes on the lead lap. We're just waiting for Greg Padgett to make his way home now. He's about 2/5 of the lap of the way around the circuit. There he is. Bring it home, Greg. Enjoy your moment in the spotlight, mate. Todd Saris has finished a lap down. Unfortunately, we didn't see that incident. But Saris, you can see it there. It's out. He's out. So he's going to get classified for the race because he only finished a lap off the leaders. But it looks as though he's ejected. Exit stage left out off the service. So we'll be down to 21 for the third and final race of the night, which is an invert top 15. We believe Lockie Purvis is going to get the invert pole position, which is the sort of leg up he needs tonight, unfortunately. It's been a shocker. Eduardo Zamora also got a black flag after the fact as well. Will that impact his finishing position in relation to Greg Padgett? All will be revealed in just a moment. Padgett comes home and sees the checkered flag. The race results will be on your screen. No, it's my father that has the blood pressure medication in our family, actually. Thanks, Brad. So Greg Padgett gets 20th. Okay, so that answers that. Padgett goes to 20th, Zamora to 21st, and Will Ramsden gets relegated to 19th. Purvis up into 15th, so no harm, no foul with regards to that mechanical meatball flag. And everybody else is as they were. Nealon, Weggett and King all benefit one spot, as does Padgett, based on where they cross the finish line compared to what it reads on the results sheet. And happy days. So Sam Chapman, by a tenth of a second on the winners list, on the board in 2026 in Formula V, with thanks to Disruptive Labs on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Nicely done. A very good result for him. A pleasing result, quite frankly. He needed that. It was a tough night out last week. 6th, 2nd and 4th. I mean, I say tough, but we normally associate him with at least a win, if not maybe 2 podium finishes. He only bagged 1 last week, and he got hip and shouldered a little bit along the way, and he wasn't the biggest fan of the circuit either. But he's back where he's most comfortable this time round with that win there. Now, a bit of housekeeping for you before we move on. The Tigers and the Raiders are underway. 6 minutes into Thursday night football. 0-all the score at the moment, although the Tigers are claiming a try right now, and I reckon it'll be going upstairs to the video referee. Bulldogs lead Swans by 5 points. However, Swans are going to have a chance in the remaining 90 seconds of the opening quarter to get themselves back in front. 6 scoring shots apiece, 4-2 plays, 3-3. And we are the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook and YouTube, and we're here with thanks to Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, Trophy AI, merch.tgsrci.com and Flash Graphics. There will be a driver change at the end of this third race. Matt Schmidtke out, Andrew Neil in. Although, let's just break the news to everybody right now. Schmidtke's going to be here all night next Thursday night, which we're looking forward to. Because Neely's unavailable. He's away on work assignment in Sydney, in the Harbour City. So you and I will be here for 3 hours. It'll be good.
Yep, back like the old days.
Absolutely. The old days that you were so happy to have a season away from too, by the way. Now, we don't have long to grid up here, but I do want to say a big thanks to my good mate, Dan Yeaman, who deputised for me last night alongside Adam Lavis to bring you Wednesday night motorsport whilst I was away doing the Porsche Pro Invitational with the Australian Sim Racing Group. And well done to all involved in both broadcasts and both series, because a top shelf night of racing last night across the board, no doubt about that. So there's your grid. Purvis, Gander, Harris, Heppel, Dory, Tate, Adams, Fitzgerald, Jones, Moroney, Bradbury, Sagassa, Noble, Lavis and Chapman, the top 15. Beyond that, it's Nealon, Weggett, King, Ramsden, Padgett and Zamora. We're all boxed and ready. No Todd Saris. 21 cars lining up for the 6th race of the season. Disruptive Labs, Formula V. Live, loud and free on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club from Oulton Park. Let's go! A Thursday night special. Great start from Lachlan Purvis with a clear track ahead of him. They're going to be hard-pressed to go with him and beat him tonight. Dory's probably the best hope, considering he had no luck in Heat 1, but he did have good pace in qualifying. Good reconnaissance mission in Heat 2 to get to the invert. Once you're in the invert, you're in the game as far as race 3 is concerned. It's such an open form guide. Already good distance between Harris and Gander. 1.3 seconds, in fact. Someone's got to pull the trigger in the next pack of cars to start the charge towards the front. Opposite of the side of Nathan Moroney. Trouble. Moroney getting battered around like a bloody pinata. And Brett Bradbury caught up as well. Oh, dear. Oh, no, gone. Was that Mark Hempel? Yes, it was. Hempel's gone. The all-white entry makes it easy to identify it. It really does, unfortunately for Hempel. Dory's now dropped off the track as well. He drops down to 12th. Chapman's up 4 spots, so too Nealon. Zamora up 8, Will Ramsden up 5. Dory's on the tow rope. Purvis and Harris have started nicely. Pate, Adams, Fitzgerald and Jones. The next one's through. There was a slow-moving car towards the back, trying to get out of the road. That was Dory. So that seems like a self-sacrifice, really. His retirement from this race. This is what happened to Ryan Jones. Uh-oh. Let's have a look.
No, that's just me trying to go back to live. He is okay.
So Dory on the tow rope. Jones up to 7th, Noble up to 6th, and Sagasa up to 5th. +7 already gained by those blokes. You beauty. Rubble at the back. Michael Adams off the road and spearing into the grass. He kept it off the wall. Wowee. 2.5 minutes gone. Plenty of drama has unfolded already, and there's plenty still to come. Purvis, Harris, Tate, Sagasa, Fitzgerald, then Noble, Jones, Gander, Chapman and Lavis the top 10. So Purvis has got Harris lurking. If they can work together, they can put an enormous amount of time between themselves and the chasing pack. It is already 3.4 seconds. Have a look at the pressure mounting on Braden Sagasa, though. Tate, Fitzgerald, Jones, Noble, Chapman, Gander, then Adam Lavis. Although, if we have another look at that incident, featuring him and... I'm just trying to remember who he got into the side of. I think it was Nathan Moroney, who's 14th. Maybe Lavis has a little case to answer there, maybe not. Here's the replay. This was lap 1. Moroney. Deep. Oh, unlucky. No, sorry, it wasn't Adam Lavis. It was Michael Adams, wasn't it?
Yes, the all green
I didn't
car
get it.
up there.
Yeah. And that's what's tripped me up, because I've seen 2 green cars. And instantly I look at green and think Adam Lavis, but no, it wasn't. So it's Michael Adams, actually, with the asterisk next to his name. Apologies. Ryan Tate, wide. Here goes down. He's inside Braden Sagasa. Have a look at him, 2 by 2, like we're on the Bank Dovals at Talladega. Beautiful. Yes, I was going to say I've... Oh, boys, hold it together somehow. Jeez, they're on the edge tonight. Down the inside, Sagasa's going to hold on. Jones to his outside. Tate to Jones's inside, and Fitzgerald around the outside. Chapman's there as well. The chance of the race win might have gone begging. We're looking good, though. We're looking good for 3 different races, 3 different winners. I like those sorts of nights. There's Chris Noble. Oh, Noble. 2 rounds in, yet to bag a win. A real troublesome start of the season for one of the stalwarts of the craft. Unbelievable. Zamora with a slide down to serve. He's done that. Brett Bradbury with the mechanical meatball. He's on pit road. So what's happened here? Hello, Nathan Michael. Good evening to you.
Oh, just got into the back of Chapo there.
Just ridden up on the wheel of Chapo, and they don't like wheel-to-wheel contact, these things. Good recovery, though.
Yes.
Next target, Adam Lavis and Russell Gander. This is chaotic stuff. This is the way we like it on a Thursday night.
Yep, this is the V's of old. This is how we like it.
Next stop for this series, Summit Point. That'll bring the action next Thursday night. Don't worry about that. Jonesy! Almost locking wheels. getting down on the inside of Ryan Tate. And now here comes Fitzgerald up his outside for the inside at 1. And Chapman's just sitting back, playing the patient game, waiting for his moment. Oh, it is. Whoa! Lucky for Chapman.
Wow.
He took the evasive action, but he sacrificed himself in the process. Ryan Tate got turned around. Moroney goes through to 10th. And Chapman will have a mechanical meatball, and that'll rub him out of contention. That was a hefty old hit. And that's the problem, Schmitty. As soon as you hit that grass, you're a passenger. Have a look at this for Chapo. And Ryan Tate, collected by Derek Fitzgerald it was. There it is, bang. Just the momentum. Oh, the momentum off the ripple strip. He's just lateral movement. He's hit that ripple strip. It's jolted him to the left, straight into the path of Ryan Tate. How about the response, the reaction time from Chapo? Watch this. There's the contact there. Yeah, it was a knee-jerk reaction. It had to be. What the hell? Chapo back to 9th, but rubbed out of it because he's got a mechanical meatball flag showing next to his name, as does Greg Padgett. Dory and Bradbury have parked up. They're done. That is really unlucky for Chapo. Wrong place, wrong time, and that's how quickly the game changes in Formula V, Matt.
Yep, certainly is. It's good for these two at the front, though. It's just them, and they've kind of bolted away and just working together to keep that lead up.
The Purvis at the front ahead of Harris and Sagassa and Jones and Fitzgerald and Noble, and then Lavis. Gander, Chapman, Moroney, the top 10. So good luck to race control. In comes Chapman. He won't be happy. He'll be filthy at that. At least you can get back out there and salvage some points, but his charge is done. Wrong place, wrong time, and unfortunately punished for being patient. Patience is a virtue, but not necessarily in Formula V. Moroney gets by Tate. That's for 9th. We ride on board with Fitzgerald for 5th. Noble's gone, and Lavis has gone with him. And behind that, Ramsden and Heppel as well. Oh, boy. When it rains, it pours. And this bloke, one of the experienced... There it is, all on his own, was it? Oh, the ripple strip, the ripple strip.
Yeah.
Can we ride on board with Adam Lavis there, please?
Yep, we sure can.
Just to see if Lavis had to do what Chapo did and sacrifice himself. Here we go, we ride on board with Adam Lavis. Through the left-hander.
Oh, they've both done basically the same thing. Just one's gone one way and the other's gone the other.
It wasn't a sympathy spin at all. It was mirror vision pirouette. Oh, and more trouble. More trouble. Ryan Tate's gone again. And Richard King's on the tow rope. Will Ramsden's on the tow rope. Greg Padgett's a lap down in all of this. But at least he's still running. Same can't be said for a lot ahead of him at the moment. This was Ryan Tate. Whoa!
Got a big bump from behind by the sounds of it.
Banana peels out wide, all right. You feel like you're watching a game of Mario Kart, don't you? My goodness. But that's the point, isn't it, Schmitty? You're a passenger once they hit the grass. Yeah, he definitely got a clip there. I'm just trying to work out who that was from. Maybe Moroney. The rejoin wasn't crash either. So race control will be keen to have a look at that.
Yeah,
the gloves are off at the moment, aren't they?
They certainly are.
Meanwhile, Purvis and Harris are 2.7 to the good, 3 seconds to the good, in fact, on Braden Sagassa, Ryan Jones, Derek Fitzgerald. We take the aerial shot as they sweep through the back section of the circuit. There are your 2 leaders, Purvis and Harris. Sagassa is 3rd. He's under threat from Jones and Fitzgerald. Chapman's got back out there. He's 15th at the moment. It helps that the garbage is unfolded ahead of him. He might be able to find his way by Ryan Tate. Does so. Gets up into 14th. We stay with the Jones battle, chasing a podium. which for Jonesy would be his second of the campaign. To go with the win last week as well.
Yeah, third's still good, but not as good as that number one spot.
Absolutely not, but probably the best you could hope for. Noble's gone again. Noble's dropped another 3 spots, this time to Lavis, Adams and Heppel. Oh, as I said, when it rains it pours. This poor bloke cannot take a trick at the moment. Just can't buy a bit of luck in this caper. He's now got a logjam of traffic ahead of him. Heppel, Lavis, and also Michael Adams. So Adams is under threat from Lavis. Here comes Heppel up the inside of Lavis. In fact, Heppel, watch him. He'll want 2 for the price of 1 here if he can manage it. Not without risk, though. He tucks back in because Lavis got the toe. The slipstream worked to his advantage to keep Heppel at bay. Yep. Noble's due some luck in this series. One of the old, experienced hands of the craft, of the discipline. Someone you'd associate with the pointy end of town and race wins. He gets by Heppel this time through. And yet he's just encountered so much misfortune in the opening 6 races of the campaign. Just the one podium finish to show for his work so far. That was last week. Race 1, Mexico City. Oh, geez, on the limit again. There will be a turnaround, point in this series. There will be a moment in which Noble starts to claw his way back and climb his way up. And when he does, watch out, because he's one of the more impressive Formula V competitors to keep an eye on in this caper, in this club. Adams to the inside of Lavis. Clean. Done. Lavis affords him a little bit of room on the outside and gets the position back. Takes Noble with him. Noble to get by Adams on the inside. No, not yet. Has to wait for the second part of the corner and then gets fed a little bit of grass. Now under threat from Heppel. This is for 8th, 9th and 10th, and they are 3 wide. White flag flies by the line for Lockie Purvis. He's got Jonathan Harris for company. Sagassa, Jones, Fitzgerald, Gander, Maroney, then Lavis, Adams and Noble the top 10. Heppel is 11th. Lavis has broken clear of Adams. Purvis sees the white flag. From lights out to the checkered flag, he's led this one. Has Jonathan Harris got something to offer up on this final lap? Can he break a way through? Can he find a way to victory by Lockie Purvis? Time will tell. Ryan Jones, fastest lap of the race, 1:58.302. Most positions gained. Oh, no one in double digits, so it's 9 for Braden Sagassa here. We ride on board with Purvis to get his second win of the campaign and 1:09 second of the night. He's got to try and fend off the pressure of Jonathan Harris. He's withstood it for the first 7 laps. Can he do the same for the 8th and final? Or does Harris have something to offer up on this final lap? Something else to give? Can he find an extra 10th, an extra gear on the run home? He's just got to be careful that he doesn't blinky bill. 3 wide, are you kidding me? That's the battle for 3rd. It's Fitzgerald, Sagassa and Jones. 3 wide. Jonesy lets Sagassa go through. Oh, and he's gone. Well, that sorts out 5th. That sorts out 5th. But now Jones has got to go back on the accelerator and fend off Maroney. Sagassa and Fitzgerald can argue over 3rd. Noble's still trying to find a way back to 9th by Michael Adams. Adam Lavis has taken off again. But Lockie Purvis has done a beautiful job. Harris unable to wind the wick up enough to be able to force his way by. Purvis has driven a faultless 3rd and final race here in round 2 of Disruptive Labs Formula V. He'll be rewarded with victory for 1:09. Oh, magnificent stuff. Harris in for 2nd. Well played. Sagasa holds off Fitzgerald, and Jonesy will hopefully... Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this! Jones by a nose! Holds on for 5th. He deserved 5th. I mean, really, he was there for 4th and 3rd, but he deserved 5th at the best, at the worst of it, I should say, at the least, considering that he'd worked so hard to get back there after losing the front wing in race 1. But he only just managed to hold onto it. Maroney, Gander, Lavis, Noble, Heppel, that's the top 10. Adams got relegated, hip and shoulder on the final lap. Pushed back to 11th, then Chapman, Tate, Nealon, then Zamora and Weggett. Greg Padgett's going to finish a lap down. Well, Ramsden on pit lane will be non-classified, I think, on 75% rule. Yes, in an 8-lap race, you've got to get 6 laps done, Zach. You know that. Maths is not my strong point. I've told you that before. And then Brett Bradbury and Sean Dorey, the confirmed retirements. Oh, boy. What the hell? Again. Formula V delivers. We looked at the calendar, Schmitty, and we thought, oh, geez, okay, it's not the usual packed sort of racing circuits that you'd associate with Formula V, but so far, no disappointment with what we've seen. Quality from first until last, and it's kept everybody on the edge of their seat.
Yep, it certainly has. Some different tracks. I think there'll be a few coming up that are more similar to what we would expect from a V track, but so far it's been very good.
Magnificent stuff. We'll wait and see if anyone's going to be brave enough to join us for a post-mortem here, a post-race debrief. In the meantime, let's have a look at some highlights for you. Lockie Purvis, unfortunately, things didn't go his way in race 2, but as I said, when he was rewarded with first on the grid for Heat 3, it was always going to be his race to lose, and he proved that from the outset. He broke clear. Good start from Jonathan Harris to get his way up into second on the opening lap. And then, obviously, behind them, the carnage unfolded. And it's such a tight, narrow little canyon of a circuit. It dished up some good racing tonight, there's no doubt about that. This was Braden Sagasa working his way back through the field with Ryan Jones. The trouble didn't actually happen there on the first lap, it was the second lap, in which it all went to the proverbial. Don't forget, we've got Porsche Cup racing from Long Beach coming up shortly, ladies and gentlemen. We will have a driver change for that one. Schmitty out, Neil in. Looking forward to having Andrew Neil's company this Thursday night for the main course. And the usual post-race show will follow as well. And that was the moment there for Nathan Moroney. Now, Lockie Purvis, Jonathan Harris, and Braden Sagasa, the top 3. So Purvis and Sagasa continue their ways, really, of being there or thereabouts on the podium at least twice in the night. And well done to Derek Fitzgerald. Ryan Jones, a good recovery. Nathan Moroney, Russell Gander as well. And it all went well, didn't it? I mean, for Russell, he really minded his own business from second on the grid. Yeah, okay, he lost a few spots along the way, but he did enough. He did what was required to stay in the top half of the field. Adam Lavis, a good recovery despite the synchronised mirror pirouetting that he and also Chris Noble did partway through that race. Noble got back to 9th and Mark Heppel was 10th. Here they are. 1-9 stable have graced us with their presence in the central commentary position. Good evening, gentlemen. Well done. Lockie, race 2 didn't go your way, it's fair to say. Talk us through that. You're very lucky in the sense that you only had a mechanical meatball to your name, therefore no penalty to serve. You were able to leverage that and stay out there and persevere with the compromised, damaged car, but that all, you know, set things up beautifully for you to have a clear track in front of you with 15th on the grid becoming first on the grid for race 3, and you checked out. But I tell you what, Jonathan Harris made you work for it.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be the first one to say that I got very lucky for race 3. Race 2, yeah, I mean, contact, and then it just went all downhill from there. But we got P15 just on the line. I don't know if you saw that. And yeah, Jonathan actually was working with me, so shout out to Jonathan.
No, they did a beautiful job at the front of the field. Now, talk to me about where it went wrong before that, mate, because obviously unfortunate to get caught up in incidents. That's the nature of the beast, Formula V racing. That happens from time to time. And I guess you were very lucky as well that there was a post-race penalty handed out to Will Ramsden. That's what gave you 15th in the first place. The T2 on that with cold tyres, it was just rough as guts, and it's no blame to anyone, but race 2, just massive pile up. I got away with it. It's just a different beast, I guess, and yeah, I got lucky, as I said. Indeed you did. Great pace from you guys so far this campaign, and your teammate again leading things off very nicely with a win in race 1. So there's that week-on-week comparison between you and him, both being able to nab a race win, but it's clear that Braden's had the better of the night. What are you got to do to turn things around so that you can have a more consistent run across the board over the 3 races rather than just 2 when we get to Summit Point next week, mate?
Yeah, I think I just got to put in a little bit more practice. Braden has always had the race pace on me, so I always strive to chase him down. He's just rapid, man. He's just rapid. We'll see what we can do next week.
Indeed. From your standpoint, what's it like having someone from a different team sitting there working with you? I guess that speaks volumes for the type of camaraderie we have here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and that was a PB for Jonathan Harris as far as his Formula V exploits were concerned.
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised. Usually, we battle and we have some fun, but Jonathan, he just worked with me. It was actually, I was kind of shocked. I was waiting for the move, kind of last 2 laps, just take it, but Nut stayed behind me and pushed me along. So yeah, shout out. The Oulton Park circuit itself, were you a little bit surprised? Because I certainly was. When we were offered up the long track tonight, would you have expected racing to probably be on the Foster's configuration, the shorter version? I honestly thought it was going to be Foster's up until when I got home from work today. So it was a bit of a shock, but I guess we adapted. It was a shock. And I would hazard a guess as well, mate, based on the negative feedback we copped last week, that it's a circuit more favourable among the drivers, more preferred among the drivers than last week. Yeah, no shifting down to second, so I think we're good to go there. It's definitely a much better track. It was fun. Indeed it was. I guess the only difference is the width of the circuit here. Not a lot of real estate to play with, but you'll have that problem again next week when we get to Summit Point as well. Expect some photo finishes there. Well done, mate. Who would you like to thank? I'd like to thank Braden, Mark, the 19 boys, putting in the work and doing practices with me. It's been good. So we'll see you next week. And I'm going to go out on a limb. Well done, Lockie. Thanks for that, mate. Appreciate it. We'll look forward to seeing you next Thursday night. I'm going to go out on a limb here, Braden Sagasta, and I'm going to say round winner. And with nothing concrete in front of me except for the fact that I'm looking at +9 in this third race, which meant you were 12th from the grid, which meant you were 4th across the line in race 2, which is a 1st, a 4th and a 3rd for the night. No one chalked up those sort of numbers, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. It was all about survival out there, and I'm just glad I got through it.
Actually, couldn't have summed it up better if you tried, mate. Survival, because wrong place, wrong time. You got caught up in either your own incident or somebody else's. Track limits were a talking point. As soon as you hit the grass around here, you were on the road to being a passenger. It was a cutthroat sort of night, but from your standpoint, the pace was there in qualifying. You converted in race 1. Again, worked your way through the field nicely in race 2. Had to play the long game, though, in race 3, because let's be perfectly honest, those top 2, they bolted fairly early in the piece.
Yeah. I already knew that Lockie had really good pace in the Formula V's. He's always been quick in these things, and yeah. Once I saw him get pole, I thought, all right, it's the battle for P3 now. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was, deep down, I was hoping that Jonathan would start battling him, but in the end, congrats to Lottie on the win. But I'm just really happy I was able to survive the night. I don't know what happened to Sam and Chris in that one, because I know they weren't too far behind me.
Chris got involved in a couple of spins, mate, one of his own doing. And the second, you asked about Chapo. Unfortunately, there was a spin that occurred right in front of him. He went left and unfortunately couldn't pull the car up and sideswiped the tyre wall on the exit of turn 1 there. So that gave him a mechanical meatball flag and rubbed him out of contention. Obviously got the mechanical meatball too early in the race to try and persevere with it the way that Lockie did in Heat 2. Speaking of your teammate, that was a nice recovery in Heat 3 and again a double podium for the squad. So you guys have had a very nice start to this campaign, haven't you?
100%. I'm just hoping we can continue that for the rest of the season. It's just about, I'm going to repeat myself again, it's just about survival in the end and just keeping your nose clean. And if we, if you can do that, you'll be really good in the championship.
Indeed, and let's be perfectly honest as well, mate. I mean, from your standpoint, you and Lockie are the only 2 dual winners in the series so far. Jonesy's got one, Chapo's got one. So you're kind of mastering the art, but are you as surprised as we are that Chris Noble can't buy any luck at the moment?
Oh, very. But because I know how quick he was last season, but he's with this championship, you still have 2 drop rounds, and there's still plenty of drama to play out for the rest of the season.
Indeed, there is. And speaking of which, I mean, we could pick apart other aspects of the racing calendar at the moment, mate, but let's not. Let's just focus on the V's. Oulton Park, again, probably not everybody's cup of tea, but offered up some great quality entertainment from a commentary and broadcast standpoint, and I'm sure the viewers at home enjoyed what they saw. As a driver, is it a circuit that you like, be it whether you're in a Formula V or something else?
It's hit or miss with the different series. The tight nature of the track, it's really hard to overtake in those bigger cars, but these smaller spec series cars like your Formula V's, your Formula 4s, your Mazdas, they throw up some really good racing.
Indeed they do. Let's talk about next week. Let's talk, because again, I'm short for time here. We've got to wrap this up shortly so that we can do the broadcast changeover. Give me your thoughts on Summit Point.
Photo finishes. That's all I got to say.
Excellent. I'm all for it. We see, this is the thing, right? Everyone looks at it and thinks, oh God, Summit Point, what are we in for? Because it's not a circuit that the outside of the sim racing universe is all that particularly familiar with. But then you go there and you watch what you guys are capable of producing in terms of the spectacle and the product and the entertainment value. And it's one stop on the calendar that we instantly look forward to whenever we see it announced on the schedule for Formula V. Maybe not necessarily for some of the other categories, like you wouldn't take the supercars or the GT3s there in a hurry. But in Formula V circles, it's got to be a must stop on the tour each and every time. Mate, well done. Championship leader. I think I'm right in saying Chapo would have been giving you a run for your money there had it not been for that black mechanical meatball flag there in heat number 3. But nonetheless, take your wins when you can get them. And it gives you a little bit to fall back on later in the season should you need to. Who do you want to thank?
I just want to thank some of my family members for continuously supporting me and all the 1-9 boys, especially Lachlan and Mark for coming out tonight and racing.
Very nicely done. Congratulations to you and Lockie, the rest of the 1-9 stable. A great start of the season for you. Long may it continue in Formula V. Go and enjoy the rest of the week, mate. Thanks for that.
You too, mate.
Thursday night football as we go around the grounds. Raiders and Tigers currently sitting 10 apiece, but the Raiders do have a kick to come on the back of scoring their second try of the night. So keep an eye on that. That's on Channel 9. Over on 7 and 7, mate, the Swannies are up against the Western Bulldogs. As a Swans supporter, I got one eye kind of on this whilst watching Formula V tonight. And the Swans are kicking another goal. And it's 7-8-50 plays 6-3-39. So an 11-point advantage there for the Swans at the moment, but it is early in the second quarter. We are taking a break here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, but don't go too far because on the other side, Schmidtke out, Neil in. Schmitty, thank you. Appreciate that as always. A final thought from you before I do let you go?
That was cracking racing, and if anybody's interested about the photo finishes at Summer Point, I believe last time we raced there, across 3 races, the total difference between first and second, I think, was 2 or 3 tenths over the entire 3 races combined.
Yeah, with first to second on a couple of occasions being in the hundredths of a second rather than the tenths as well, and maybe even the thousandths I think we had to go to at one point. I cannot wait for next week. You'll see it live here, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time across Facebook and YouTube, the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. That's 9:30 in New Zealand and 5:30 on the West Coast. Right, Schmidtke out, Neil in. From open wheelers to tin tops we go. This marathon night.